Hey Leonard, how are you?
I'm good, Kylie. How are you?
I'm pretty awesome because Christmas is about 2 minutes away.
That's
So
right.
I can feel the summer vibes and hear the crickets and late afternoon storms and all those beautiful things.
That's it. Yeah.
Hey, thanks for hanging out with me. I reached out to you because I love your portfolio on Change Republic, and
Yeah.
I actually thought it could be a bit of an inspo for some of our other community members. Just to kind of dive into what you've done and how you've done it.
Yeah,
Um,
sure.
so, for everyone watching, Leonard's created a portfolio item on how to make his mum's paella. Now, I'm pretty sure I've pronounced that incorrectly, haven't I?
I look, guys. I think it's paella, but I can't say it either. So I'm going to say paella as well. Why not? Sorry to all the Spanish people out there. We've got it wrong, but yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And so, Leonard, like, what gave you the idea to make a module on this topic?
Yeah, good question. I was struggling for a long time to try and put a portfolio together, given the organisations I've worked for in the past, like banks and health insurers and things like that. So, non-disclosure agreements was always a big obstacle for me.
Yeah,
And so, one of the things that I wanted to sort of showcase, if you like, is a little bit of colour, a little bit of creativity, and a bit about what represents my personal aspect as well as my working aspect. So this one that I did was in Rise, and most of my e-learning background has been playing predominantly in Storyline. So I wanted to push myself in Rise a little bit and just to see what it can do and try and break it a little bit, if you like, and sort
yeah.
of go outside of its normal parameters, as well as having a lot of fun with it as well. So Paella is something that I've been playing around with for a while. As I love challenging myself, mastering a dish, and then go, yep, and make it my own. And I thought, well, I've got a little book that I do it on, that I get my recipe on and follow instructions. I thought it'd be great to do it on an iPad. And so it made me think of Rise straight away. And I thought, okay, if I can share this with other people, then how good would that be? Yeah. So that's
You're
where it came from. Yeah.
you're a true learning designer. Like,
Yeah, pretty
I want
much.
this on an iPad, and
Yeah.
right came straight to mind. There's only
Yeah,
our
my book's
kind of
getting a bit
audience.
stained with all the oil and food stains and stuff. So on an iPad would be a lot easier. Yeah, something like that.
Brilliant. Well, look, I'm just going to share my screen now so that people can kind of see what it is that we've created. Because one of the
Yeah,
things that I absolutely love is kind of the headline image of this
yeah,
Rise module will just like make you salivate any time of day.
yeah,
And that's something that we think is really important at Change Republic. It's
yeah,
like this main image on our profile is really like that main image in the e-learning library, and we really want to
yeah,
inspire emotion.
yeah.
How is that an actual photo, or how did you get that?
Yeah. So so part of the thing that I wanted to showcase in my Rise module is a lot of different skills that I have, and photography is one of them.
Okay.
And this particular photo, I learned a new trick in Photoshop at how to make a cartoon sort of effect out of a photo.
Yeah.
So I said, yeah, I want to showcase that too. So why not? So yeah, so that's just a bit of that's an actual photo that I took and then put an effect of a cartoon sort of effect through Photoshop. And I've done that throughout the course as well, and in not too much of it, but just little bits and pieces where it stands out a bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was one of the things I wanted to showcase as well. Yeah,
Yeah, okay. And
yeah.
I've kind of added here this little subheading, which is saying, fair warning, you may end up in the kitchen, which
Yeah,
is kind of how I feel every,
yeah,
every time I
absolutely.
look at it, because this is
Yeah.
actually my husband's favorite dish. So
Oh wow.
I haven't shown this to Andy because I know
Yeah,
exactly where that's going.
yeah,
So we've introduced this about and challenge and solution, and really
yeah,
what we're trying to inspire here is some storytelling,
yeah,
because
absolutely.
obviously one of the things that clients come to us they ask all the time for learning designers, instructional designers who can tell a story. And so we're really trying to create the opportunity for you to tell, for people to tell a story here and showcase their writing skills, because it's becoming so important in the briefs that we're getting. And I think you had sort of mastered that with just a few very brief comments that talked about what your inspiration, how you went about it.
Yeah.
And then we've got kind of your lead cartoon image. And for people watching, you can upload as many images here as you like, because some people are struggling with the NDA situation. How long did it sort of take you to come past that and sort of overcome that?
Yeah, I think for me it was just working out, and I watched a lot of things and around building portfolios. So Tim Slade and Kath Ellis have done things in the past and talked about how to sort of get around NDAs. And I thought it's something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. And I thought, yeah, now's the time to do it. You know, you've got the platform here to sort of host it and things like that. So it makes sense to do that. So in terms of how long, the idea had been stewing around in my head for a while, and I just got to the point where I've just got to do it. So I had a good idea of a storyboard that I wanted to, in my mind, around how I want to set this up, what kind of elements I wanted to showcase. So I mentioned before, photography was one thing I wanted to sort of showcase in there. The ability to make images stand out through this particular effect that you can see here, as well as my really average video editing skills. So I thought, look, you know, I have done a little bit of video in the past. So, you know, I've got friends who are much better at it than me, so I usually lean on them. So James Beverlander, I'll sort of drop his name there. He's a great friend of mine that I've worked with many times before. Master and so so I usually lean on him when I've got any video stuff that I need, but I thought, no, this one I want to try and do myself, and it was okay. It wasn't the greatest, but look, it's still fit for purpose, because I want to show people the real and raw side of, you know, what it's all about, and it doesn't detract from the course or the portfolio piece. So hopefully it showcases what can be done, and, you know, that sort of thing. So it only took me probably a week to sort of storyboard and get an idea in my mind. And then on the day of filming and recording, and mind you, it's real time, so you can't sort of stop the cooking process to do any editing or stuff like that. So you got to be ready to go. So with this sort of thing. So yeah, it was good fun. I really enjoyed doing it. And then sort of the post-production afterwards, I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. So I had to really go, Leonard, just put it together, do what you need to do, and just get it out there as quickly as you can. So it probably took about a week after that just to sort of clean up a few things. So I got it peer reviewed as well, just to sort of help me out and sort of help, you know, like I said, break Rise a little bit more. So there were some good folks on the Change Republic community, like Simon Bertoli, who's a bit of a Rise guru himself as well. So yeah, I sort of tapped into his expertise a little bit, because he's done some really good stuff with Rise in the past as well. So he's a great. Gosh, I'm doing a lot of name dropping at the moment. I wasn't really intending to do that, but I just want to showcase that you lean on the community. Yeah, you lean on your community as well.
Yeah, that's right. And we want to introduce a bit more of that. Like we've been talking about, it's probably another topic, but we've been talking about introducing a section in Change Republic called Mad Skills. Where people can just do little screen captures of things that they're really awesome about, and we could upload it and share it with everyone. So that's an exciting project for next year, because I've got nothing left this year.
No, at the end of the road.
I'm just diving into your actual Rise module here. So Leonard, tell me a bit about how have you hosted this? Is this just a kind of, how's this set up from the module point of view?
Yeah, so it was published in Rise. So what I've got is a link to an Amazon. You can see the link there, Amazon AWS site, where I've got a lot of my portfolio pieces loaded in there, and it's just free and easy, and makes it pretty accessible to most parts around the world. And so like I said, originally it was designed in Rise particularly for use on an iPad. Storyline does have that capability, but Rise just handles it a lot better.
Yeah.
So yeah, and so that's where I've hosted it there, and so I've got it to my own personal portfolio site and also to this one here as well.
Right.
And effectively, it's set up with a menu structure. So, you know, a lot of food bloggers have their little bit of intro, but I've sort of set it up in a bit of a
Yeah.
way where you've got your ingredients, your preparation, setting up, then your cooking and things like that.
Yeah.
And I've also got a PDF version for people who just want to print it out and have a PDF version of the recipe itself.
Yeah.
So I've got that information there as well. So it's hopefully a bit of fun for people that want a little bit of you know, background on paella. It is quite a daunting thing when you're doing it for the first time. So I want to sort of break that down and say, look, you can create your own version of it, which is what I've done. It's not a traditional paella. It's just my version of it based on, you know, doing a bit of research and things. So yeah, it's yeah, just set up that way, and hopefully makes it easy for people to sort of follow the steps and yeah, launch it on an iPad without having to log into anything or anything like that.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful thing to share. This is something also that you share with clients, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, and again, like you said before, it's made to show, as well as my professional, you know, work that I've done. There's also a bit of fun stuff that you can do with and just showcase what's possible in different learning tools.
Yeah, and look, what we love about this is the combo of your mad work skills, um, and your personality coming through.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
what we know about Change Republic is that when people are connecting with you online, they need to build trust. And so what's happening for our client community is that they're reviewing applications or bids if it's a freelance gig, and they need a mechanism to build trust with you. And this portfolio tool, which sits under your profile, is really the way that they're doing it. But they want to build trust with your skills and with you as a person. So we love
yeah,
this sort of combo approach because it's actually really helping to build that trust. And that's
yeah.
one thing we sort of want to encourage people to think about
Absolutely.
is that.
And yeah, so just to add to that, I think being authentic, and look, I've used language throughout this particular course. It's a little bit, you know, a bit of fun, you know, and a little bit sort of cheeky at times as well. And, you know, anyone that knows me knows that I'm a little bit like that anyway. But I think what you make a really good point, because when people are looking at your work, they're forming an idea of who you are as well. But so your work is one thing, but, you know, culture fit and you know, working with building relationships and being with someone who's authentic is also important. So if you can demonstrate that through your work, and most people can through the way they design and things like that, show their creativity, but it helps just to make a stronger connection with a sort of a more of immediate impact. So that's why it was fun to do this one as well.
And Leonard, this is quite in depth. You know, if someone was starting out with just doing this for the first time, and maybe they had, you know, a couple of hours that they could dedicate through the week.
Yeah.
Something we've talked with people about is just setting up something that is a really simple task, like making this dish as a, you know, if you made it, it would take you a couple of hours. So the instructional or learning design is more complex. But we have had people, you know, how to pick the right guitar is one that comes to mind. So just really going through that process. Other people also voice. So they'll create a short Rise module or Storyline module and they'll voice it over on a screen capture and talk about what they were thinking. Because the other sort of feedback we get from clients is, we want to know, like, what was the thought process behind your learning design choices. And so that's maybe something else that we'd like to explore.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, because I think when people can sort of, we've put our descriptions of our challenges and the brief and things in writing, but if you can sort of talk through that and showcase what you've done with a video of your course, I think that can help as well. And if you want to avoid, you know, non-disclosure obstacles and things like that, what you can do is take elements of a previous course that you've done, sort of debrand some of that thing, and then do that voiceover component of it as well.
Yeah.
And that way you can sort of protect the brand of the client you were working for. And so I've done that a couple of times with some of the things that I've done. I'm just going to show you the menu of what I did and just show the interactive menu component. You know, change the title so that they're a little bit more generic.
Yeah.
And then just put that up as a portfolio piece as well, and things like that. So
Leonard, that's just kind of copying the module across, making some quick edits, and then do you go back to your original client and share that, or do you just make sure that it's very generic and there's
generic, so change all the brand colors, all the fonts, all that sort of stuff that are, you know, sometimes can be proprietary to them, and just sort of really generic, because there's a lot of content out there that is pretty generic anyway, like, you know, coaching and you know, coaching for performance and things like that. You know, you can sort of really sort of take out the specifics of that, and then you can post those as portfolio pieces as well. I've asked for permission a couple of times to say, look, this is what I'm doing, I'm taking all your branding out, it'd be okay for me to do that. Most of the times they've been okay with that, as long as you can demonstrate. They haven't really asked to see what the final product is, and that's just because the trust that I've had with previous clients and things like that.
And you just keep that email so that you've got, you know, a record of them saying yes if ever there's a drama later.
And so, thankfully so far there hasn't been, so that's good.
I'm sure there won't be. It is about trust, but just for people who are concerned, because they can feel really like full on the NDA.
And look, I did go through that. I was daunted by it, and I thought, you know what, I've got good trust. I know I'm doing the right thing in terms of, you know, taking out all the branding and sort of proprietary information out of it. And if you trust that you're doing that in the spirit of what you're intending to do, then I think most of the times you'll be okay.
Yeah, awesome. Well, Leonard, that is amazing. Thanks for sharing that.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Obviously, for anyone out there who's looking for a freelance partner to work with, we highly recommend Leonard. So get in touch.
Thank you.
We really appreciate you being part of this convo, and hopefully we'll pick up and have some other great combos with you next year.
Absolutely. And have a great Christmas period, everybody. And on to 2022.
And a decent break.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Kylie.